Good morning. Good morning. This is Charles Coachman, and we are walking our way through the Bible, reading our way through Proverbs, digging in deep into the book of Romans, and as always, putting on the whole armor of God. Hope that you had a wonderful day yesterday. And I'm praying that you are looking forward to the day ahead. It is Monday, May 17th. It is 52 degrees and beautiful San Jose, California. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our birthday shout outs. See what we've got today. Let's see if I can figure this out. Josh Clark. Josh Clark is out of Connecticut. He is a police officer. And Josh, wishing you a very, very happy birthday. And then Mike Henry has been a dear friend of mine for years. He moved up to the Portland, Vancouver, Washington area. And I'm not sure where he's at. He's either in Portland or he's in Vancouver, Washington, or in that immediate area. So, Mike, happy birthday to you. And if it is your birthday out there, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And God bless each of you, especially Josh and Mike. Have a great day, guys. All right, let's take a look quickly here and mention our friends Weldon, Curtis, Rex, Danny, Red, Shelly, Nancy, Rosalie, Jenny, Mayan, and my friend Bill Friend. Thinking of each of you, thinking of your families and praying for you. God bless each of you. All right, let's take a look and see what we're doing today. And we are going into the book of Proverbs. I think somebody messed up. Somebody did not save what he put in there. So let's get this corrected. We are going to go into, I'm going to just pull that down. We are going into Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17, I believe it's 1 through 35, if I'm not mistaken. 17, 1 through 28. And then we will go over to Romans. And we will be going into Romans 11, 1 through 36. And then Ephesians 6, 10 through 18. Every once in a while, you don't save something and you get yourself in trouble. I have, there we go. A little bit different color. Changed seats, so it's adjusted everything. Let's see. Take a look and see who's with us today. Kevin and Fitzgerald, good morning, everybody. Blessings to all now and always. Kevin, the same to you. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Lana. It's a beautiful day. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Kathy Sherritt's Carvajal, good morning, everyone. Have a wonderful day to all. Kathy, you and Arnie also, and your family. Enjoy this day. Bronknell, good evening to you. So glad that you are here. And good morning to all who are watching here. Scott Ricard, good morning. We've got our Florida connection completed. Scott, thank you for being here. Diane Cazares Hayhurst, good morning to all. Good morning to you, Diane. I'm very, very happy that you are here. Keith Landris, good morning to you, sir. Hope that you are having a great start to your morning. Good morning, brother. Hey, Mark. So good to see you, Mark. I just was on Facebook yesterday and happened to see that you had been on, I guess, a couple days back. But I am so glad that you were here, and hope everything is going well with the new move now that you are a Jersey boy once again. And Frank Nail, happy Monday. Start to a new week. Never underestimate Charles Coachman. Never. You never know what's going to happen to him. All right, let's take a look and let's go ahead and get going into Proverbs. Proverbs 17. Contrast the upright and the wicked. Better is a dry morsel and quietness with it than a house full of feasting with strife. A servant who acts wisely will rule over a son who acts shamefully and will share in the inheritance among brothers. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold. But the Lord tests hearts. An evildoer listens to wicked lips. A liar pays attention to a destructive tongue. He who mocks the poor taunts his maker. He who rejoices at calamity will not go unpunished. Grandchildren are the crown of old men, and the glory of sons is their fathers. Excellent speech is not fitting for a fool, but much less are lying lips to a prince. A bribe is a charm in the sight of its owner. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who conceals a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. A rebuke goes deeper into one who has understanding than 100 blows into a fool. A rebellious man seeks only evil, so a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cubs rather than the fool in his folly. He who returns evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is like letting out water, so abandon the quarrel before it breaks out. Abandon the quarrel. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous, both of them are alike and an abomination to the Lord. Why is there a price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom when he has no sense? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man lacking in sense pledges and becomes a guarantor in the presence of his neighbor. He who loves transgression loves strife. He who raises his doors seeks destruction. He who has a crooked mind finds no good, and he who is perverted in his language falls into evil. He who sires a fool does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. A wicked man receives a bribe from the bosom to pervert the ways of justice. Wisdom is in the presence of the one who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is grief to his father and bitterness to her who bore him. It is also not good to find the righteous, nor to strike the noble for their uprightness. He who restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is considered prudent. We are finding some of the best wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from right there. He who restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is considered prudent. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Listen more than you speak. There's some other great passages here. Grandchildren are the crown of old men, and the glory of sons is their fathers. Men, we just have to be good people. We have to learn to be good people, whether you have grandchildren or not. Young people, those that you surround yourself with, they look up to you, and you're grateful for them. But we want to make sure that we're teaching our sons properly. We want to make sure. And the glory of sons, and the glory of sons is their fathers. Make sure that we understand that. You are an example for your sons, or for those young men who you surround yourself with. Want to scoot in to chapter 11 in Romans. If I say then, God has not rejected his people, has he? May it never be, for I too am an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God has not rejected his people whom he foreknew. Or do you not know what scripture says in the passage about Elijah, how he pleads with God against Israel? Lord, they have killed your prophets, they have torn down your altars, and I alone am left. And they are seeking my life. They are seeking my life. But what is the divine response to him? I have kept for myself 7,000 who have not bowed to the knee of Baal. To the knee of Baal. In the same way, then, there has also come to the present time a remnant according to God's gracious choice. But if it is by grace, it is no longer the basis of works. Otherwise, grace is no longer grace. What then? What Israel is seeking, it has not obtained, but those who were chosen obtained it, and the rest were hardened. Just as it is written, God gave them a spirit of stupor, eyes to see not, and ears to hear not, down to the very day. And David says, let their table become a snare and a trap, and a stumbling block and a retribution to them. Let their eyes be darkened to see not, and bend their backs forever. I say then, they did not stumble so as to fall, did they? May it never be. But by their transgression, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make them jealous. Now, if their transgression is riches for the world and their failure is riches for the Gentiles, how much more will their fulfillment be? But I am speaking to you who are Gentiles, inasmuch then as I am an apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my ministry, if somehow I might move to jealousy my fellow countrymen and save some of them. For if their rejection is the reconciliation of the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? If the first piece of dough is holy, the lump is also, and if the root is holy, the branches are too. But if some of the branches are broken off, and you, being a wild olive, were grafted in among them and became partaker with them of the rich root of the olive tree, do not be arrogant toward the branches, but if you are arrogant, remember that it is not you who supports the root, but the root that supports you. You will say, branches were broken off so that I might be grafted in. Quite right. They were broken off for their unbelief, but you stand by your faith. Do not be conceited, but fear. For if God did not spare the natural branches, he will not spare you either. Behold then the kindness and the serenity of God to those who fell, severity, but to you God's kindness, if you continue in his kindness, otherwise you will be cut off. And they also, if they do not continue in their unbelief, will be grafted in, for God is able to graft them again. For if you were cut off from what is by nature a wild olive tree, and were grafted contrary to nature into a cultivated olive tree, how much more will these who are natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? For I do not want you, brethren, to be uninformed of this mystery, so that you will not be wise in your own estimation, that a partial hardening has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come. And so all Israel will be saved, just as it is written, the deliverer will come from Zion. He will remove ungodliness from Jacob. This is my covenant with them. From the standpoint of the gospel, they are enemies for your sake. But from the standpoint of God's choice, they are beloved for the sake of the fathers. For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. For just as you were once obedient to God, but now have been shown mercy because of their disobedience, so that they also now have been disobedient, that because of the mercy shown to you, they also may now be shown mercy. For God has shut up all the disobedience, so that he may show mercy to all. Oh, the depth of the riches both of wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgments and unfathomable his ways. For who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has become his counselor? Or who has first given to him that it might be paid back to him again? For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen. So again, this is Paul talking about the Israelites, talking about the Jews. And he is letting everyone know. He is letting everyone know that a major portion of them have walked away from the Messiah. They are giving up what God has given them. Gentiles are being brought in. They are becoming more accepting of Jesus, the Messiah, than the Jews are. Then they make the reference to the olive tree, the cultivated olive tree and the wild olive tree. The wild olive tree being the Gentiles. The cultivated olive tree, the chosen one, are the Jews. Branches have broken off from the cultivated tree. Branches from the wild tree are being grafted in. For those that do any type of farming, for those that raise any type of crops, especially in California, we get to see it an awful lot, where you get grafted plants. You get grafted trees. We are finding that you can bring in one type of tree and graft it into another and then become part of that tree. And so they're telling the Gentiles, look, we are glad that you have come in. We are glad that God has made room for you. But don't become disobedient. Don't become full of yourself. Don't become arrogant, because God will cut you off. If he was willing to do that to his own, what is he willing to do to another? But he's also saying, for those that have been cut off, those that decided not to come in, and remain part of that tree, to remain part of those that were loving the Messiah. If they come in, they're going to be welcomed. If they are looking to join and love the Messiah, they are going to be welcomed. It's a great word. It's a great study as to what's going on. They take a look at the Old Testament where people have turned against God, and they're referencing the New Testament and what is going on. Here, the Jews of the Old Testament have turned against God, and then once again, they are turning against the Messiah and saying, this isn't right. This is not right. But God is saying it is right. And Paul is expressing it to them in the way he knows that they will understand. Take a quick look to Ephesians. I would, again, just ask everyone to dig into Romans. Do some study on it. Find out more about the references to the Old Testament and dig into it. There's so much to learn. There's so much built in to those passages that we all need to be made aware of it. Turn into Ephesians 6, the armor of God. Ephesians 6:10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the full armor of God, so that you will be able to resist in the evil day, having done everything to stand firm. Stand firm, therefore, having girded your loins with truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. In addition to all, taking up the shield of faith, in with which you will be able to extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, with all prayer and petition, pray at all times in the Spirit, and with this in view, be on alert with all perseverance and petition for all the saints. Going to add on 19 and 20 to this. And Lana, thank you for that. And pray on my behalf, that utterance may be given to me, the opening of my mouth, to make known with boldness the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, that in proclaiming I speak boldly as I ought to speak. That's Paul telling everybody, be aware. Be aware. Be prepared. And that's what we have to do each day. Be aware and be prepared. But more than anything, all of us need to be in prayer. As he says in the final verses, be in prayer for me. Be in prayer for each of us. Be in prayer for our families. And just love on each other. That's what it's all about. But know that there are those that are seeking no good for us. And we have to take it on ourselves to bow our heads and pray for one another. And know that each of us is lucky to have one another. And we have got millions across the world. And we need to be in prayer for them. Hey, I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. Let's check this out before we close it up. Gloria Brown, good morning to you. So glad that you were here. So good to see you, Gloria. Colleen Copenhaver, good to see you. God bless you. Renee, good morning. Happy Monday. Great way to start a brand new week. Listen to Charles' words of wisdom from the Bible. Absolutely. Renee, thank you for being here. And I want to wish everyone a great day. If you'd like to share this out, please do. If you'd like to join us tomorrow, we would love that. Would love having you here as we continue our walk through the Bible. Reading through Proverbs, digging in deep into the book of Romans, and as always, putting on the whole armor of God. Have a blessed day, everyone. Enjoy your day. If you've got an opportunity to help another, take this time. It's now. We're ready for it. God bless. Have a wonderful day.